Have you ever thought about who Moaning Myrtle really was? What if she wasn't just an annoying ghost haunting a school bathroom, but a tragic soul with a heartbreaking past? In today's video, you will uncover the hidden story of Myrtle Warren, one filled with pain, loneliness, and a fate worse than death. At first glance, Moaning Myrtle seems like comic relief. She whines, wails, and sulks in the bathroom, scaring students and throwing tantrums. But her story is anything but funny. Born into a Muggle family, Myrtle faced relentless bullying from the moment she set foot in Hogwarts. Her thick glasses and troubled skin made her an easy target. She had no friends, no support, only taunts and whispers behind her back. Then one fateful day, her suffering took a deadly turn. In 1943, the legendary Chamber of Secrets was opened, unleashing the monster hidden within. While most feared the unknown terror stalking the school, Myrtle became its first victim. But was it really just the basilisk that ended her life? Or was there something far more sinister at play? Myrtle died alone, mocked and ridiculed even in her final moments. But her story didn't end there. Instead of moving on, she returned, trapped as a ghost, forever bound to the very place of her suffering. She wanted revenge, and her first act of vengeance, haunting the girl who tormented her in life. The Ministry of Magic tried to intervene, but all they did was confine her to Hogwarts. And so Myrtle spent decades locked in a cycle of misery, bound to a school that never cared for her. Yet despite her sorrow, she became more than just a ghostly nuisance. She witnessed the return of the Chamber's horror. She helped Harry Potter uncover vital secrets. She even formed an odd connection with Draco Malfoy, sharing his pain in one of his darkest hours. Myrtle's story is one of tragedy, but also of unexpected importance. She was a girl the world forgot, a soul lost in the echoes of Hogwarts' past. But was she truly doomed to wander forever? Or did she find some small measure of peace in the end? Stay with me as we dive deep into the life, death, and haunting legacy of Moaning Myrtle. Hogwarts, 1943. The school was gripped by fear. The whispers of an ancient monster slithering through the walls had turned into cold, hard reality. Students were petrified, and rumors spread like wildfire. In the heart of this terror stood Tom Riddle, a quiet, brilliant student with an unsettling charm. No one suspected that behind his composed exterior he was orchestrating something far more sinister than mere school mischief. Myrtle Warren never wanted to stand out. She kept to herself, hiding behind thick glasses, avoiding the cruel laughter of her classmates. But fate had chosen her. One evening, overwhelmed by another round of teasing from Olive Hornby, she fled to the girls' bathroom, seeking solace in the silence of the tiled walls. She didn't know she was walking straight into a nightmare. A quiet hiss echoed through the pipes, then a voice, speaking a language she had never heard before. She stepped out of the stall, anger bubbling inside her, ready to yell at whoever was trespassing. But as she lifted her gaze, her world ended. The last thing she saw were two enormous glowing yellow eyes. Her body collapsed instantly, lifeless before it hit the floor. Tom Riddle stood not far from the scene, his mind sharp, calculating. The basilisk had done its job. A life had been taken, and not just any life, a Muggle-born, a child of non-magical parents. It was the perfect sacrifice. He had always resented those who carried Muggle blood. Now he had proof of his power, but he needed more than just control over a deadly creature. He wanted immortality. Horcruxes were forbidden knowledge whispered only in the darkest corners of wizarding lore. A fragment of the soul, severed through the act of murder, could be trapped inside an object, ensuring its master would never truly die. And so that night, in the secrecy of his dormitory, Tom Riddle performed magic so dark, so unnatural, that few dared even to imagine it. He tore apart his own soul and placed the severed piece into an unassuming diary. The first step to becoming Voldemort had been taken. The diary was proof that he was the heir of Slytherin, Dumbledore later told Harry, that he alone could control the monster inside the chamber, and it was proof that he had gone further than any student ever dared. The diary was no mere book. It was a living entity, containing a piece of a soul so corrupted that it could think, whisper, and even possess. Decades later, that same diary would fall into the hands of Ginny Weasley, a lonely, insecure girl, desperate for someone to listen. She had no idea that with every word she wrote, she was letting in the echoes of a boy who had murdered without remorse. "He's been writing back to me all year," she admitted to Harry, trembling in the Chamber of Secrets. "He's like a friend, but he's been making me do things." Myrtle's death had faded into history, just another casualty of Hogwarts' long past. But the echoes of that night never truly left. If she hadn't died, would Tom Riddle have found another victim? Would he have created a Horcrux at all? The school had been close to shutting down after her murder. Perhaps he would have lost his chance. Perhaps history would have been different. But history had been written. Tom Riddle had spilled his first blood, sealed his first Horcrux, and taken his first step toward immortality. The basilisk returned to sleep. Myrtle became a ghost, forever trapped in the bathroom where she died. And Tom, he had begun his transformation into something far darker than anyone could have foreseen. Years later, when Harry Potter faced the shattered remnants of Riddle's past, he held the diary in his hands, unaware of its true significance. It was not just a cursed object. It was the first Horcrux, the first death, the first sin, the beginning of Voldemort's reign of